Closed captioning for great tastes is presented by Manitoba beef producers. Manitoba Liquor Mart presents Great Tastes of Manitoba. Great Tastes is brought to you by GreatTastesMB.ca. Great Tastes is sponsored by Manitoba Agriculture, Food and Rural Development.
Hello and welcome to Great Tastes of Manitoba. My name is Des Daniels and we're having fun here at the Grant Park Liquor Mart Education Center, where today we are having fun with beef, Manitoba beef producers. We have Adriana Barros with us today, and it's all about comfort foods, and we're going to get back to that in just a sec. Ben Rush, we're going to also find out some great beverage pairings, so listen and observe, and we'll see what we can come up with.
Absolutely.
Can you walk us through our recipes today, Adriana?
Absolutely. Thanks, Des. So tonight we're in the kitchen cooking beef that will warm your soul. Starting off with Manitoba beef meatballs. They are made with lean ground beef, Bothwell Parmesan cheese simmered in a tomato sauce. Second, we're going to the ultimate comfort food. We're having short ribs that are braised. Absolutely delicious, served over peak of the market red, locally grown potatoes. And to finish us off tonight, we have a broccoli beef stir fry that is made with top sirloin beef and a really great take on a popular takeout menu.
Cool. Okay, so beef, sturdy, kind of classic, and comfort food. So what are you thinking?
Well, I've got some ideas. I'm going to go shopping, but I had one question about the beef bowl. If there's going to be lots of beef or predominantly the broccoli happening, I was just kind of curious about that.
There is a mixture of vegetables, so we have a lot of broccoli, a little bit of locally grown carrots, some water chestnuts, some spinach, but the focus is going to be that top sirloin, really fork tender and really good.
We can work with this.
Wheels are turning.
Oh, yes.
Okay, good luck to you. Have
Thank
fun.
you.
We'll see you in a bit. Classic beef meatballs in tomato sauce. If you've had a terrible week at work, this is what you want to come home and make or eat or whatever. So where do we get started here, Adriana?
Okay, well, let's get started by our stand mixer. So I like to throw my lean ground beef into the stand mixer. It's kind of hands-free.
Yeah.
It brings everything together really, really easily.
No kidding. And no mess, so like no taking the jewelry off. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's awesome. So I'm just gonna give our meat a good mix.
Okay.
And then what we're gonna do is
That's the, well, you know, and it would have been even messier had it been
know.
me with my hands.
Absolutely.
Trust me when I say that, yeah.
We're gonna add all of our ingredients. So we can start with our breadcrumbs. So we have some Italian breadcrumbs.
All right, beautiful.
I'll throw in some of our salt, pepper, and a little hint of nutmeg, which goes really well with beef and is kind of like a nice warm flavor.
I don't think I've ever put nutmeg in meatballs, so that's kind of cool. And then we have our Countryside Farms Vita egg, right? Gotta have that.
That's right. And then we have our Bothwell Parmesan cheese that I've pre-grated.
Super excited to find out that Bothwell is doing Parmesan cheese. That was another thing that I learned. You can get locally made Parmesan cheese now, which is fantastic.
Yeah.
And that was
extra yummy. That was some parsley.
Parsley, okay.
So hopefully we'll keep it all in the bowl here. We'll get this all mixed up.
Now you are using lean ground beef. So can you talk a little bit about the differences in terms of texture, in terms of taste?
Absolutely. So the only difference between the different grinds of ground beef is the fat content. So this is a lean ground beef, so the maximum fat content is only 17%.
So you just got to turn it a wee bit more, or maybe I'll come in. I think you had it right the first time, and then there you go.
Ah, there we go. Perfect.
All right. So 17% fat content.
That's correct.
All right.
So,
as opposed to what's regular ground beef?
Regular ground beef has 30% fat content.
Okay. All right. So that's a significant difference.
Yeah, absolutely. And this is really good for meatballs because we're going to be searing them. There isn't going to be a whole lot of fat coming off them. But if you're going to use the regular grind, you're most likely going to want to drain off the fat prior to cooking. So for something for tacos or something like that.
Okay.
So I'm just rolling out our meatballs, and I'm just going to get this into our pan.
Sure.
So we are going to sear these.
Sear away.
I'll get one in there.
And as far as cooking them, You always want to do, like, you don't want any pink left, right?
No, absolutely not.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's important with ground meats that we always cook it to well done, and that's 160 Fahrenheit or 71 Celsius.
So you're probably a big fan of that meat thermometer. Everybody uses meat
Oh,
thermometers. I'm terrible. I'm always like
yes.
poking away at it thinking, oh, I can figure it out. Oh, it's a little pink, I'll leave it. But really, that's the foolproof and really the healthiest and safest way to make sure that
That's
your meatballs
correct.
are done, right?
Yeah, I always use a ready instant read thermometer.
Okay.
So I'll get a couple of these seared off, and then we already have some previously seared. So if you want to keep an eye on that, maybe give them a flip. I'm going to wash
Absolutely.
my hands quickly.
That sounds great. All right, and this is such a beautiful classic, comfort food. I think of family when I think of, meatballs, and it's kind of a neat tie-in because I was astounded to find out there are 7,000 farmers, like beef producers in Manitoba?
Yes, 7,000 beef producers. Majority of them are all small families.
Yeah.
So all family-owned farms, so that's terrific,
I love
right?
that, yeah, and it kind of fits, right?
Oh, absolutely, and they're you're going to be guaranteed that they're definitely, making meatballs at least once a week.
Is that, okay, is that, and that's all we really need to do as far as, because these are going to be baked yet, right?
That we're going to be simmering them
Simmering
in
them
our
in there,
sauce.
right, okay.
So, yeah, so in goes our onions.
Peak of the market onion, all right.
That's right.
We got a little garlic, gotta
Garlic
have that.
goes in there.
Thank you. I'd be using my fingers at home, but we're not at home, so we won't do that.
That's
And then what do you
correct.
have here? Little salt, little
Salt,
pepper.
that's right.
Okay.
We're gonna put in our Italian wine. So this is a Chianti wine.
Classic.
So deglazing, you can add our tomatoes.
Alrighty. Done and done. And then
And
you've got
parsley.
your parsley.
And then we're gonna add our seared meatballs back into the pot, and we're gonna simmer them for about 25 minutes on low heat.
And then everybody's happy.
That's right.
Classic meatballs in tomato sauce, and then when we come back, braised beef short ribs. Make me a little scared. We're gonna find out how to do that when we come back on Great Taste of Manitoba.
You're watching Great Tastes of Manitoba, brought to you in part by Manitoba Liquor Mart. Please drink responsibly. Moderation tastes so much better.